Welcome. Let's just dive right into this dynamic explainer, distilling the high-yield facts of Bihar's history, geography, and river systems. Whether you're a history buff or you're really just looking to master the foundations of this remarkable region, we're going to break down some highly complex timelines and vast geographies into clear, memorable takeaways.
Here is our roadmap for today. 1. The rise of ancient Magadha. 2. The hills of Rajgir and Gaya. 3. The geological structure. And 4. The major rivers of Bihar.
All right, Section 1. The rise of ancient Magadha, the kings who shaped history.
So, tracing the chronological succession of power, we kick things off way back around 544 BC with the founding of the Haryanka dynasty. Fast forward a bit and we hit the Shishunagaga dynasty, which is super notable for King Kalashoka, and the Second Buddhist Council around 383 BC. Then comes the formidable Nanda dynasty, who expanded the empire immensely, even conquering Kalinga. And finally, we leap right into the Golden Age under the Gupta dynasty, where influential rulers like Samudragupta actually authorized the building of a Buddhist monastery over in Bodh Gaya.
Now, King Bimbisara, the founder of that Haryanka dynasty, he had a pretty brilliant strategy. He was actually the first king to hold a standing army, but honestly, his diplomatic marriages were just as powerful for exponentially expanding his empire. It's like ancient networking. He married Kosala Devi, which brought Kashi as a massive dowry. Then there was Chelana and Kema. He also had a relationship with Amrapali, and what's fascinating is that their son, Jivaka, became this legendary physician. He actually cured the king of Avanti of jaundice, and that single-handedly improved diplomatic relations between the empires. Talk about a powerhouse family.
That early foundation paved the way for the next great era of power, the Nanda dynasty. The fierce ruler, Mahapadmananda, was literally given the title the second avatar of Parshuram, as well as Ekarat, which basically means a unified, supreme ruler. And he definitely earned it by totally eradicating rival dynasties. In fact, he was the very first Magha king to conquer Kalinga, long before Ashoka ever did.
Okay, moving on to Section 2. The hills of Rajgir and Gaya, the natural fortresses.
Picture this: Vibharagiri, Vipalachal, Ratnagiri, Udayagiri, and Songagiri. These 5 distinct hills completely surrounded the ancient capital of Rajgriha, which is modern-day Rajgir. Under the architectural vision of Mahagovinda, this natural topography basically turned the city into an impregnable fortress crafted by nature itself. It served as the ultimate protected capital right up until it was moved by Udayin.
But hey, these weren't just big rocks. They actually generated extreme geological heat. Out of the 5, Vibharagiri is the highest peak, and right in its base bubbles 7 hot spring streams. The most important of these is the Brahmakund, which reaches a blistering, near-boiling 87 degrees Celsius.
And if we hop over to the Gaya district, we find Brahmayoni Hill, which perfectly proves that the local geography is just as spiritually significant as it is physically imposing. Being the highest point in Gaya, ancient Buddhist texts point to this exact hill as the spot where Gautam Buddha delivered his very first sermon in the area. And it was a huge success. He converted 1,000 local fire worshippers right there.
Section 3. The geological structure of Bihar, the bedrock of the state.
Let's zoom out and mentally map the state from its oldest, deepest rocks up to the absolute newest formations. The oldest are the Archean or Darwar system, sitting right in the southeastern triangle of Jamui, Nevada, and Munger. Next is the Vindhyan system in the southwest. Then, up in the northwest corner, specifically West Champaran, we find the much newer tertiary period rocks. And finally, the newest geological addition is the Quaternary system. Those are the vast alluvial plains stretching right through the middle of the state.
So why does ancient rock matter to us right now? Well, because millions of years of geological pressure literally dictated the modern economic footprint of these districts. The Vindhyan rock system in Kaimur and Rohtas is absolutely packed with sandstone and limestone. That natural abundance made it the undeniable hub for today's massive cement industry. The bedrock literally built the economy.
Finally, Section 4. Major rivers of Bihar, the lifeblood of the plains.
It's amazing how two completely separate streams can merge into something so legendary. You've got the Mohan River flowing from Hazarigagh and the Nuranjana River flowing from the Samari region. They crash together right at Bodh Gaya to form the sacred Falgu River. And while it's incredibly significant across Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism, the Falgu is actually a non-perennial river. That means it largely dries up outside of the monsoon season.
12. That is the exact number of districts in Bihar that the mighty Ganga River flows through. After making its way down through Uttarakhand in UP, it enters Bihar at Chausa in the Buxar district, and it carves a massive 445-kilometer path through the entire state before eventually crossing over into Jharkhand.
Out of that massive 445-kilometer journey through the state, the Ganga travels its absolute longest continuous stretch right through Patna, clocking in at 99 kilometers. This is followed pretty closely by Bhagalpur at 92 kilometers, and then Begusarai at 80.
But you know, before he even reaches Bihar, tracing the Ganga's origin back to the Himalayas is fascinating. It's a precise three-step confluence. It doesn't just spontaneously start as the Ganga. First, the Alaknanda River flows down from the Vishnu temple town of Badrinath. Second, the Bhagirathi River flows from Gangotri. And it's only when those two distinct rivers finally collide at Deoprayag that the mighty Ganga is officially formed, eventually spilling into the plains at Hardwar.
Now let's talk about the Sun River, the undisputed king of South Bihar's rivers. Originating at the Amarkantak Plateau, it creates a really cool natural border with Jharkhand, splits into two streams, and finally meets the Ganga at Manir and Danapur. Historically, its impact is staggering. It's actually the site of Bihar's oldest multi-purpose river dam project, which dates all the way back to 1873.
Up north of the Ganga, we've got the Gandak River, historically known as the Narayani or Satanira. And it isn't just a natural boundary between UP and Bihar, it's an absolute agricultural lifeline. It feeds massive canal systems like Tirhut, Saran, Tior, and the Triveni Canal. But, on top of all that, it provides the vital water source for the Valmiki Tiger Reserve, Bihar's very first national park, which currently sustains a population of exactly 54 tigers. So, as we wrap up this explainer, take a look at the big picture we've built today. From the ancient bedrock that provides modern building materials, to the rivers that fed standing armies, to the protective hills that cradled the very first empires. I want to leave you to ponder just how intrinsically linked human history really is to its geographical footprint. I mean, could the Nanda or Gupta dynasties have even existed without the Ganges? Could Rajgir have survived without its 5 hills? The land and the people are really just one continuous story. Thank you so much for diving into this learning journey with me, and keep questioning the ground beneath your feet.